Santi Nobel. I'm going to tell you about the studies made by Amartya Sen. He is the winner of 1998 Economic Nobel Prize for his contribution to welfare and the related situation that happened in Indonesia to that Nobel. Hopefully insightful.
Amartya Sen occupies a unique position among modern economists. He is an outstanding economic theorist, a world authority on theory of social choice and welfare economics. He is a leading figure in development economic, breaking path on appraising the effectiveness of investment in poor countries, definition of welfare and poverty index, and recently on the economic analysis of payments. Social choice theory analyzes the relation between individual preference and collective decision. Fundamental issues are whether various decision is preference for society as a whole can be consistently derived from the preference of its member. The answers are crucial for the ranking feasibility, different social states, and thereby constructing meaningful measure of social welfare. Majority rule is the most common rule for making collective decision. It may allow a majority to suppress a minority. It may pay off to vote strategically or to manipulate the order in which different alternatives are voted. Sen introduced a condition on individual preference called value restriction. It implies that for every set of three alternatives, either all individuals agree that one of the alternatives agree that it is not second best or that is not worse. In individual rights, Sen points the difficulty in finding decision rules that fulfill apparently reasonable requirements in democracy. This finding initiated an extensive scientific discussion about the extent to which a collective decision rule can be made consistent with a sphere of individual rights. His approach to welfare economics seeks positive steps forward from traditional utilitarianism. A theory of welfare must be based on more than individual utilities, whether they are interpreted as pleasure, fulfillment, or as revealed preference. Informational base is insufficiently rich. The same distribution of individual welfare may coexist with very different scores on other dimensions that are important to social evaluation. Poverty index, Sen postulated 5 reasonable axioms from which he derived a poverty index, which H is a headcount ratio, I is income gap ratio, G is the Gini coefficient. Sen clarified the index can and should be applied even when data are problematic, when is often the case is poor countries when poverty index have most intrinsic application. Even many critics say that Gini coefficient cannot represent standard of life. In welfare indicator, a problem when comparing the welfare of different societies is that many use indicator, such as income per capita that only take average condition into account. Sen has developed alternative which also encompass the income distribution. A specific alternative which, like the poverty index, he derived from a number of axioms, where Y is income per capita. Sen calls a number of other factors, such as health, which these factors should be considered when measuring welfare. Alternative welfare indicators, such United Nations using Human Development Index. The purpose is to place human as the central point of development, so that development not only of growth but also freedom and human survival. In analysis of famine, he challenged the common view that said shortage of food is the most important. Food availability decline cannot explain phenomena observed during famines, but the supply of food is the most significant explanation for famine, emphasized on distributional issues and system rather than due to crop failure. Poverty is one of the most crucial issues in Indonesia. Poverty is synonymous with famine. Sen proved with empirical data that almost all of famine happened because for a long time there has never been criticized to government policy. Economic inequality in Indonesia, which is caused by inequality of opportunity, to be understood as an inequality of freedom, has made a bunch of people thrown, while the other group remains steady. The cause of persistent poverty, powerlessness, and underdevelopment are accessibility issues. Accessibility means political freedom, economic opportunity, social opportunities such as education, health, and transparency, as well as their social security. If humans are limited by not given access, it means the man was forced to do what they not supposed to be. Then the potential to develop will stunt and make prosperity smaller. When comparing between regions, in fact, the highest poverty rate was actually occurring in areas with abundant wealth of natural resources, such as Papua and West Papua. Percentage of poverty rate reached 34 to 36%, much higher than national average of 13.30%. Beside Papua, another province that has a high percentage of poor people are Maluku, Nusa Tenggara, Aceh, and others. Indigenous Papuans were not given access, opportunity, and the freedom to develop his life. The actual availability of food is abundant through the region. However, the problem is the absence of people access to it. The characteristic of poverty in Indonesia is related to the geographical aspect that influence the connectivity factor and the level of isolation. The poverty rate in province in eastern Indonesia, where most of population are farmer in rural area. In the area of indigenous people have been living on the edge of process and development program, to them migration to urban area is the only way to get a job and avoiding poverty. The government has prepared a master plan for acceleration Indonesian poverty reduction by promoting infrastructure development, rural industrialization, and development activities. Badan Perencanaan Pembangunan Nasional has prepared a map of construction new infrastructure project in the eastern region, especially in Papua, such as airport and seaport to troubleshoot connectivity issue.
Kenapa pelabuhan dibangun, kenapa airport juga dibangun di titik-titik terluar di negara kita ini. Karena kita ingin mempersatukan seluruh kabupaten, seluruh provinsi yang ada di negara kita Indonesia. Jadi masyarakat Provinsi Aceh bisa naik kapal ke Jawa, ke Sulawesi, langsung ke Timur Maluku, langsung kalau mau ke Basior, ke Basior.
Autonomy of the Papua was not implemented in accordance with the rules should be. Failure of local autonomy by the failure of government structure accordance with the principle of democracy, such as the authority in domestic affairs, finance, and natural resources independently make democracy cannot work. Sen said that the system that cannot implement substantive democracy would tend to be far from equitable distribution of natural resources and food. In recent years, the poverty rate in Indonesia shows a significant decrease. Nevertheless, this decline is expected to slow in the future. Those who in the past few years capable out from poverty does not need strong support to get out of poverty. However, in line of group that at the very bottom of poverty line should be helped up to get up. It is more complicated and will generate the numbers in poverty reduction are running slower than before. Furthermore, the task of central and local government is how to keep the values and the implementation of democracy are not just procedural, but could applicable so there is no more famine and poverty occur in the country.
Karena kondisi jalan lagi begini, lagi musim hujan, jadi ya beginilah fotonya. Cuma Batunya lumpur semua. Belajar bersama, belajar di luar kelas, jadi sambil jalan-jalan anak-anak juga melihat nanti kita akan memberikan persoalan yang berhubungan dengan pelajaran di kelas.